As election season approaches, politicians are once again feeding us campaign ads about how they intend to enact policies that will finally make the economy work for everyone. They will ensure lower costs, higher wages, and more services like education and healthcare for everyone. But does anyone have the courage to point out that there's really only one way to improve economic conditions overall? Stay tuned to find out what it is.
We have an economy right now that looks good on paper, but has more and more of us feeling stuck.
When we stand together, we will make billionaires pay their fair share, provide better wages for workers, and equal pay for women.
As president, an opportunity economy that works for us. Tax fairness, where the wealthy pay their fair share. Education, affordable college and high-skill vocational training so people can succeed in the new economy. Economic security, lower-cost health care, and affordable middle-class housing.
The specific talking points vary from election to election, but you can always count on a few of them being the same. All fight to lower healthcare costs. All fight to ensure that every citizen receives a college education. All ensure that affordable housing is recognized as a human right. All fight to ensure jobs for all with a living wage. In one way or another, these politicians promise to make sure that you will get the things you want, and as a result, everyone will be better off. Either implicitly or explicitly. They state that whoever currently sits in office is simply refusing to give you these things due to corruption and ineptitude, and all it will take is a new politician with the courage to stand up and put these untapped resources to work. When they do, everyone's economic conditions will improve. This isn't true, of course, but to know why it's not true, it's necessary to step back every now and then and consider a little Economics 101. If you listen to the political rhetoric, especially the rhetoric coming from those farther to the left, you may be tempted to think that the reason people don't have all the things they want is because there is a greedy class of billionaires that are hoarding the necessities of life. There is no reason that every citizen couldn't be going to college tuition-free, while driving the latest model of hybrid and receiving free healthcare services at the local hospital, all before going home to their 2-bedroom apartment and enjoying a nice gourmet dinner. The reason that every American is not doing this is only because there is a swath of untapped resources sitting dormant while billionaires swim in pools of money for their own enjoyment. But it doesn't take much thought to realize that it's not that simple. Imagine a primitive hunter-gatherer living in a remote location on the African plains. His home is a stick and mud hut, and his job is spending every waking hour to find food. He doesn't have an education or healthcare services. So to resolve his woes, we take $100 million in cash and airdrop it next to his stick and mud hut. Problem solved, right? Well, not exactly, because our primitive hermit isn't going to find any comfort in the cash. What he needs are the goods and services that we exchange currency for in our modern economy. And in his lonesome existence on the African plain, piles of cash aren't going to help him obtain them. It's simple to see in this one-person example, but more easily obscured when looking at a large and intricate economy like those found in the modern First World. When you consider a billionaire's net worth, it may sound like they have billions of dollars in cash simply sitting under their beds not being used. But the reality is that whatever levels of currency a billionaire may possess, their net worth actually represents a large but limited amount of resources put towards certain uses, as does anyone's net worth. No one really wants money for the sake of having money. To become wealthier, an individual needs access to a larger pool of resources, all of which remain finite no matter what. The crux of the matter is that no matter who sits in the White House or who controls Congress, there is a limited amount of resources in the economy. There is a limited amount of labor, a limited amount of capital, and a limited amount of time in a day. Therefore, whether we're talking about the minimum wage, government-funded education efforts, regulations in the healthcare industry, or any other issue, we're not really talking about government providing something that simply wasn't being used before. We're talking about government, by force, demanding that citizens take resources that are currently being used for one purpose and using them for a different purpose. Whether through taxation to fund a new government program, price controls to compel higher wages and lower prices, or direct central planning, politicians are promising to deprive one group of citizens of a certain good or service so that a different group of citizens can have a different good or service. They may try to argue that this is justified, but they aren't promising to create something that wasn't there before. They're promising to steal something and put it towards a different use. Government can increase taxes. It can create more currency through central banking. Or if need be, it can directly confiscate property. But what government cannot and never will be able to do is make new resources appear out of thin air. Therefore, the only way to improve the economy overall is to make production more efficient. In other words, through innovation, find ways to create the goods and services that people want by using less resources. The resources that are then freed up can be put towards new uses, and overall, everyone's costs will go down. But under no circumstances can confiscating resources and putting them towards a different use actually increase wealth overall. At best, it can only improve one person's circumstances at the expense of another's. Democrat, Republican, I don't care what politician we're talking about. When someone promises to improve the economy through a new government program or regulation, they are lying through their teeth. Maybe you genuinely believe that you deserve to have resources put towards your preferred use more than someone else deserves to have those resources put towards their preferred use. But even so, don't pretend that you're making the economy better overall. The only way to do that is to increase the efficiency of production. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Everyone, please take a moment to subscribe to my 2 cents on the BitTubers and BitChute platforms. YouTube has shown that it is no longer a viable platform for independent content creators, and we need to build a presence elsewhere before the inevitable censorship comes. The links to both profiles are available in the BitTubers tab on my website, my2centsvideos.com. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the bell to receive notifications so that you never miss an upload. And if you're a fan of my channel, please consider supporting me on Subscribestar, Bitbacker, or Patreon to receive special rewards. All links can be found in the About section of my website, my2centsvideos.com.